Hello, welcome to this edition of Intelligent Video Today. I'm your host, Steve Vonderhaar. Join us on today's episode for a return visit, Vidya Narayanan, the CEO over and at FinalLayer. Welcome, Vidya.
Thanks for having me, Steve. It's great to be back.
Yeah, so last time you were here, you were heading up a organization called Rizzle. You've moved on from that and have started FinalLayer. It's kind of a startup involved with the social media realm, but I promise our viewers we're going to get to a video discussion eventually. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing at FinalLayer and some of the AI capabilities you're delivering in the social media realm.
Absolutely. So, FinalLayer is an AI agentic platform for LinkedIn, primarily at this point. So, what we do is help people establish their presence on LinkedIn, personal branding, brand visibility. So, for both individuals as well as company pages. So, we handle everything from personalized topic ideas on a daily basis in terms of what to post about, doing live research on topics you want to write about, creating the media for it, and writing the post in your voice. But with an important, human in the loop persona. So we want to help people amplify their voices with AI and accelerate their workflows. We do not want to automate. So this is a key difference. And we always put the human in the loop and we ask people a few contextual questions before we write on their behalf. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We help people establish their brand on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so why is it important for organizations, whether large or small, to be amplifying their voices on social media in this way? And why, in context, should it be important for them to begin thinking about leveraging AI tools to do just that?
Absolutely. So I think there's two important phenomenon that is in progress right now. One is this trend of building in public, or all leaders are asked to build in public to some extent and think in public because trust has become the anchor for all growth and all brand value these days. And even McDonald's is feeling compelled to have their CEO eat their burger in public. So that's the world we live in now. So it's very, very important for leaders to have that presence. And secondly, the world of SEO has changed quite a bit. So the way we consume search results is moving more and more to AI overviews and chatbot AI responses, which means that the discovery element has squarely moved to social. And LinkedIn is at the center of it. Google AI Overview and ChatGPT results and Perplexity results and all these things are increasingly coding from LinkedIn and Reddit and places like that. So it's really important for brands to show up on these platforms if they want to show up in the search results at all. So for these reasons, it's becoming almost a non-negotiable thing to have that presence built on platforms like LinkedIn.
So social media is clearly becoming more important in kind of this post SEO world that we're living in now. What role does video play in helping make social media become more effective?
So, video, of course, is the most critical medium of social media today. Almost all the places will touch on LinkedIn and video a bit later. But basically, you can think of this as, there's more than a billion people on so many different platforms now. So, we all consume so much of content everywhere. And how we consume content, how we consume news, all of this has changed so much that it's all coming through social media, video content today. And more than ever, I think, the way TikTok and Instagram have played a role in people consuming not just entertainment, but both information. And this would have been very hard for me to believe 6 months ago, but I started making videos on TikTok and Instagram about 6 months ago. And I have grown a community of over 34,000 people on Instagram, 12,000 people on Instagram, on TikTok, and all this through just creating founder-led content. And it's a community of founders. And that has become the place where people often discover at least one of their sets of audiences. So I think video is increasingly important to, playing a central role in people figuring out like what they like, what they want to trust, and who they want to believe in, and so on and so forth.
So you have experience in almost being a content creator and being a entrepreneur of a video startup, but yet with FinalLayer, video really doesn't sit at the center of your solution. Tell us a little bit about why that's the case.
So I think there's two important reasons why. One, I'll start with the first one, which is I think in a world of abundant AI video, I think people want to see very raw, authentic video from people. I mean, they're almost looking for signs that this is authentic, and which means that they prefer messy rooms and, like just really casual attire and stuff like that. When it's hilarious almost because when we first started Rizzle, we used to have a lot of people make videos from their cars. What today is called the car talk on TikTok, like people rambling from their cars. So Rizzle was the first platform to have that going on. And at the time, we were told by a few investors, and we ourselves like were doubting this. We were like, would this ever become prime content if people are just ranting from their cars? It turns out, fast forward to today, it's a whole, track on TikTok. People love this thing, right? Like, they want to watch more people just casually talking from wherever they are. So I think that has become the primary pull for video content today. So in that world, it didn't make sense for us to build a platform that helps editing and this sort of thing. So we kind of shied away from building the hardcore editing types of platform solutions. And then the second piece of it is with our focus on LinkedIn. And with our focus on LinkedIn, what happened was, contrary to LinkedIn wanting to promote more video content, I think eventually it will be one of the primary pieces of content consumed on LinkedIn. It's still not the case today. For most people, video is not their top performing content on LinkedIn. And I think that's because LinkedIn is consumed a lot during work hours, which means that people consume it on muted modes and they're not really, playing the video out loud. And so without sound, we always know that video doesn't do very well. And, the other thing is LinkedIn still has their main feed, which is a mix of text and image and video and all of that. So text still continues to play such a critical role in LinkedIn's discovery and how people want to engage with content. So for those reasons, we didn't start with video being the center of our solution in FinalLayer.
I guess cubicles are not necessarily hospitable to loud video content coming out across the bullpen. So that kind of changes the process for LinkedIn from a video perspective. Where do you see that going over time? Will video ever become a big staple of the LinkedIn experience?
I think it will to some extent. And this is because I think the LinkedIn team is making a lot of effort and investment in video. A little while ago, they were also bringing in top creators to podcasters type of people to create exclusive content for LinkedIn. And I think if they moved forward with some of those initiatives, then LinkedIn became a place where you actually consumed topics that were of informational interest to you, then I think LinkedIn is going to become, at least video is going to become a more and more important medium. I think that one more thing is as Gen Z goes to work, I think they will communicate a lot more in video as well. It's just they're used to that world. I see a lot of Gen Z founders making incredible video content, and I think it won't be limited to just the founders. A lot more Gen Zs as they get into the workforce will not shy away from like just making video content. And for these reasons, I think LinkedIn's investment in video and focus on video makes sense. But I think they still have a little bit of time before that becomes the primary medium for LinkedIn.
As I mentioned before, we met back when you were CEO of Rizzle, a content startup that leveraged AI to make it easier to create video. What lessons did you learn from that experience? What did Rizzle teach us about the prospects for AI video, particularly in the enterprise?
So it's a very fascinating question because the world of video has moved so fast. Like if you look at the last 2 years, the stuff that has come out in AI video and where we are today is just incredibly mind-boggling. I do not think that 2 years ago we thought it would be possible to have the quality of videos that VO3 and CDance 2.0 are producing today. It is just incredible how fast that field has moved. So and along with it, because that field has moved so fast, I think it goes back to the point I was making about the authenticity. Now everyone is questioning the authenticity of almost everything we see now because we're not sure what is AI and we cannot tell the difference anymore. It's increasingly difficult to tell the difference. So for that reason, I think the world of AI video has gone into like three buckets almost. There is the avatar-based, video content like HeyGen and Synthesia and these kinds of platform making happen. I think while that saw a bit of success, and actually they're all doing quite well as a platform, and it's a great way to introduce video for camera shy people, being able to still create your content, put it out there quickly, being able to spin up ads without necessarily like spending a fortune on production quality and stuff like that. So I think that's one area. The second is like platforms such as Higgsfield and captions and these types of editing platforms that have emerged. And honestly, I think those kinds of platforms are, especially platforms like CapCut type of platforms. Captions aims to be the CapCut replacement. At one point, when the US was threatening to ban all apps from China, they were positioning themselves as the CapCut replacement. But I find that those have hit a little bit of a ceiling on growth from what I can externally observe. And this is goes back to the point where people no longer care about mediocre edits. You either have to have a video of phenomenal editing, at which point the edits are the skills because of which the video is being watched. It's basically, meme quality edits, and you're kind of bringing in a Hollywood quality edit to a short form video, which makes it super appealing to people. And the whole discussion is about the edit itself, less about the actual content of the video. Or you have to actually make a Hollywood production edit. People are not interested in this mediocre quality, like, okay, I'll make my podcast a little bit more polished with some edits. People are like, we're done with that. Like, just give us the authentic stuff. So I think the middle ground is going to vanish. Like, I think increasingly there is no ROI in, slapping a little bit of a mediocre edit on your video. You connect better if you can be authentic on camera with no edits, raw, unfiltered, just put it out there type of thing. So I actually believe that the future of AI video is very bright for producing pieces of Hollywood level quality content, portions of it, like B roll type stuff. So it will encourage more and more independent filmmakers to make things in low budgets, or, we're not there today. We're obviously, you still have to spend a lot of time putting together the pieces that AI gives you into something coherent in order to make sense. But I think we'll get to a world where the B roll can actually be made by AI, and you don't have to really blow up a car to, film a car blow up scene and stuff like that. So I think that's coming. But in the area of mediocre edits, I kind of see a little bit of doom there. I just don't think, like, I think you're going to either produce amazing edits or no edits at all. This in between state might not disappear for a while.
No middle ground in the future of AI video content creation. Well, what does the future of AI infused social media look like as we finish up here? Give us some of your thoughts on how AI is going to impact social media platforms, and is video really ever going to play a role in that future for social media?
I think video will play a phenomenally important role in social media. Just I think LinkedIn may take a little bit longer to catch up, but almost on most other platforms, video is going to continue to be super important. That said, what's the role of AI? I think increasingly, there was a survey done which said 80% of LinkedIn content has been touched by AI one way or the other, has been either AI assisted or AI written, right? And that's the world we live in. I think Cloudflare predicts that by 2027, bot traffic will overtake human traffic on the internet. So if that's the world we're going into, so there is going to be increasing number of pieces of content, whether it's text or video or whatever it is, it's going to be increasingly either made by AI or at least assisted by AI. So in that world, we're going to struggle with how to consume the right information. We already have situations where AI artists are on the top charts of Spotify. There's obviously a little bit of backlash, but then there are enough people saying, I don't care, I love this music, I'm gonna groove to it. So, I'm gonna take it in the right way and run with it. And there's also the question of, if an artist wrote the lyrics to it, if a human wrote the lyrics to it, and they produced and put it out there with a video that was made by AI, Is that not a good thing? We're now democratizing the ability for writers to reach their audiences without having to cut through the bureaucracy of studios and finding singers who would represent their lyrics and so on. So I think we're into a really tough quagmire of questions that don't have answers right now. Where do the copyrights go? Like, what are the boundaries? So I think there's a lot that is going to come out in the next 18 to 24 months, where we will all figure out how this is all going to play out in a fair way. I mean, it took a while for the internet and Google to figure out what's the right model such that publishers are you know thriving, and Google, actually, not only Google makes money but also the publishers make money. I think we're at a place where we're destroying the publishing industry right now. We're destroying some of these industries, but we'll have to figure out how we will rebuild and what shape it'll take. And I think the jury's out on that right now, and the next 24 months will tell us what will happen.
Yeah, we will be watching it closely. And I thank you for taking the time to come by our 100% bot free discussion today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was great catching up, Steve.
We thank you for taking the time to visit our episode of Intelligent Video Today. If you want access to more episodes of our series, go to the Intelligent Video Today YouTube channel and subscribe to get notifications of future editions of the Intelligent Video Today series. For Intelligent Research and Intelligent Video Today, I'm Steve Vonderhaar. Thanks for your time.